All right, welcome guys. Here to break down the showdown slate between the Nets and the Bucks. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, KD scored independent. We should all fade, right? That's a good one. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name's DK. I'll break down the showdown slate, and I'm only gonna be on for about 15 minutes because there's only so much we can talk about here. I think it's pretty clear what you do. It's definitely starters and scrubs. There's about 4 or 5 value plays to consider. You could take shots on lower-owned guys like maybe Claxton and Bobby Portis and hope they're back in the rotation. Obviously, it's risky because both basically got DNPs last game. As far as news, we got the Harden news. He's no limit, and they said pregame warm-up, he looks a little bit more lively than Game 5, so take that info, process it however you like. Obviously, Harden was awful last game. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be bad this game. So it's a 221 over-under. Again, the Bucks are 5-point favorites here. All right, we'll start off with the Brooklyn Nets. If you guys are just coming in, though, if you could hit that like button, let's try to aim for maybe like 50 or so likes. I know it's going to be a shorter live stream. I appreciate all you guys coming in here. Do I pay myself with going hard again? I mean, it's tough. It's a tough one for sure. It's contrarian. I think he'll be lower owned than he was last slate after what he did. So, yeah, it's tricky. So, we'll start off with KD, and don't have to spend a lot of time here. He's going to be probably 90-ish% owned, I would say. He went for 100 fantasy points last game. Now, if you think Harden really bounces back, then sure, you can make an argument to fade KD, right? He's going to be the ultimate chalk, and if Harden looks close to himself and has a really good game, then obviously, KD probably takes a step back usage-wise. So, I mean, in the large field stuff, yeah, there's an argument to fade KD. Would I fade him if I was playing like high dollar stuff or putting a lot of money in line? No, wouldn't fade KD. So then, yeah, Harden, he's going to be low owned. He was like 10% in the captain last slate. He should be lower owned in my opinion after recency bias. I still think there's a chance he could have a good game. Again, obviously looking at the last game, he was out there more of a decoy. He didn't have the same jump in his step. So it's a very, very risky play. It's really just an ownership thing. And crazier things have happened. I would not be super shocked if Harden comes out and looks a lot better and actually has a good game. But, yeah, hard to get super excited about it. We don't even have to spend time in Joe Harris. I don't know what we're thinking with that price in Draftkings. Blake Griffin, not out of play, but it's really hard to prioritize him when you're trying to get 3 stars in your lineup to get to Blake Griffin. So Blake's hard to get to. Bruce Brown, nothing more than a dart throw. He played 13 minutes last game. I think there is a way that he could play more minutes, right? We saw big minutes from Shamet. If Shamet struggles or Bruce Brown starts off hot, Bruce Brown could play like 30-ish minutes. I mean, he played 38 minutes 3 games ago, right? So it's still a possibility that Bruce Brown could play big minutes. They're kind of going to go with a hot hand situation. Mike James is only playable if you think Harden aggregates on hammy early. Other than that, he played 3 minutes last game. Jeff Green's going to be the chalk value. I think it's for good reason. There's not much value you're going to feel good about, and Jeff Green should play over 30 minutes. He's a decent point per minute guy, so got to really like Jeff Green. Could you make the argument to fade him in tournaments? Sure, you can, because he's going to be very, very popular, but I think he's the safest value on the board. With a guy like Claxton, he was about 60% last slate. He only played 2 minutes. So same thing I'll say about Bobby Portis. Is there a chance he comes back and plays 12 to 14 minutes? Yeah, I think it's possible. And if he does, you're going to get him at pretty low ownership. And then we got to talk about Shamet. So he played 28 minutes last game. Now, there's no guarantee he plays those minutes, right? It could go to Bruce Brown. Maybe Claxton gets back in the rotation and plays more. So you just don't know. But Shamet is one of the value guys we have to consider because he should at least play. How many minutes he plays is more in question. Obviously, he's not a good point per minute guy, but he's 3-2. And he fits into the chalky build of get 3 stars and then 3 value punts into your lineup. All right, so let's talk about the Bucks really quick, and then we'll get to some questions. On the Bucks, same thing I'll say about KD, about Giannis, right? He's going to be probably 90-ish% owned. Now, could you fade him in the larger field stuff? You can. Again, if I'm fading Harden, I'm locking in then Middleton and Drew Holiday because if Giannis does struggle here, those two are really going to step up. That's the only argument you fade him. Again, if I'm playing high dollar stuff, I would not fade Giannis. I think KD, Giannis, again, we're going to be very popular for good reason. Now, if Middleton versus Drew Holiday kind of comes down to salary, I still think I prefer Middleton point per dollar, but if you go like that Giannis or KD in the captain with both and then try to get one more star, it's a little bit easier to fit Drew in as opposed to Middleton. So I think for that reason alone, Drew Holiday might be a little bit more popular. Again, straight up though, like I would much rather have Middleton. He's been much more aggressive on the offensive end. I had a higher usage so far this series. Again, with Drew Holiday, I think he's going to be popular kind of by default because he fits more in that chalky build of you play either Giannis or KD in the captain. You play both, and then 3 value plays. Drew Holiday's that 3rd star you can get to a little easier when you play either KD or Giannis in the captain. Brook Lopez is a value play I do like if you can get to him. He should play about 35 minutes. So like Jeff Green, I'd say one of my favorite value plays. It's a little bit trickier to get to Brook Lopez as opposed to Jeff Green, but still like Brook Lopez. Forbes, a little more of a contrarian value play, 13 minutes in back-to-back games. However, I do think there's a way he plays more minutes. He is scoring dependent, but if he comes out and shoots well, maybe he plays over 20. So Forbes, a viable contrarian value play to kind of make your lineup different on the showdown slate. Pat Connaughton is going to be super, super popular like Jeff Green, but I do think he's one of the better value plays. Now, will we get 32 minutes again? Probably not. Right, we saw some Drew Holiday foul trouble. We saw Bobby Portis out of the rotation, but I do think we get at least 20 minutes from Connaughton. At this price point, I think he's one of the better values. And same with PJ Tucker. Again, he's going to be very, very popular because of the price point. Now, PJ Tucker can play 30-plus minutes and go for 5 fantasy points. So it's possible you can definitely fade a chalky PJ Tucker. I think it's doable. However, again, he fits in that really chalky build of getting those 3 stars in, so he's going to be popular by default. Now, one guy I'm really intrigued by is Portis. He got a DNP last game. They lost. Does he get back in the rotation? Let's just say this. If I knew Bobby Portis was going to play tonight, I would lock him in my lineup and play him in the high dollar. Like, I would much rather have 12 to 14 minutes out of Bobby Portis than 30 minutes out of PJ Tucker. So, Portis, I think, is an intriguing contrarian play because he'll be low owned after getting a surprise DNP last game. I do think there's a way, though, that he plays in this game. So, Portis, a little bit intrigued by his contrarian value play, and that's it. Elijah Bryant, for some reason, saw a couple minutes. I'm not sure why. Thanasis and Nakambo will get a minute or 2 at the end of each half for defensive purposes, but I just don't really think we have to go there. So, roster construction, I already told you guys, right? It's a 3-star approach. One of them the captain with 3 punt plays. It makes the mid-range tough to get to. So, I'm just kind of crossing off Harris. Blake Griffin's really hard to get to. Really hard to get to Bruce Brown. Good values are guys like Brolo, Jeff Green, and then you get to the punt plays of they just kind of fit your lineup because of the price, and guys like Shamet, Connaughton, and PJ Tucker. Okay, so let's get to some questions, guys. Leave them in the chat. If you're just coming in again, if you could hit that like button. We're at 38 likes, 153 viewers. Try to get to 50 likes before the end of the show. Appreciate you guys coming in and checking in this quick live stream. KD captain with Giannis, Middleton, Green. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, right, that's going to be the chalk build. That or the Giannis the captain one with those guys. It's going to be very popular. You think Portis plays? If you think Portis plays, I think you play him tonight then. Giannis could outscore KD. Yeah, I definitely think there's a chance Giannis outscores KD. I think if I was going to play one of Giannis or KD in the captain, I think I would lean Giannis. Based on recency bias, I think KD will be much higher owned in the captain. Drew and Lopez or Middleton and Jeff Green. It's probably the Middleton and Jeff Green one. That's pretty close. You playing Harden? I don't think so. But, I mean, he will be pretty low owned, and I already know it's going to happen, right? He's going to have his big game after I take a shot at him at low ownership last night. He goes awful. I know he's just going to bounce back and crush and just I'm already ready to be disappointed. Shamet or Tucker. So it comes down to kind of ownership. Tucker's probably going to be a little bit more popular since he's cheaper and should play more minutes. If you want to make your lineup different, if you have the salary, maybe into Shamet over Tucker to make your lineup a little bit different. Both are going to be popular. I think Tucker might be a little bit more popular. Yeah, that's 37 for Harden feels a little bit low. I don't think he's going to shoot 1 of 10 again. One way I think is you don't play KD or Giannis in the captain. That'll make your lineup different alone. That's 1. 2, you take a shot in a value play like a Claxton or a Bobby Portis and hope they're back in their rotation because ownership's going to be low on them. It's going to be pretty low. And if Claxton plays 12 to 14 minutes or Portis goes back in 12 to 14 minutes, there's a good chance they're going to be in the winning lineup. Tucker and Middleton or Holiday and Shamet. Yeah, I would rather have the first one. I just prefer Middleton to Holiday, and Tucker versus Shamet, just like they're both gross, right? Taking shot on Bobby Portis over Tucker. Right now, no, but who knows? I mean, I'm only playing the $20 one, so I always play contrarian. I'm thinking about it. If salary doesn't matter, who do you prefer? Forbes, Shamet, Connaughton? Connaughton. Yeah. But I don't think that's... Like, can you make a lineup with 4 stars? Let's see. So that's an interesting argument of let's try this. Let's try Drew, Middleton, Giannis, and KD. So an interesting question is doing something like this, is it viable? Right? You pick basically 4 stars, and then you're going to have to get 2 guys that are probably going to get DNPs. Is that better than, 3 stars and 3 bad values? So I think it actually interesting. Okay, could we let's try Giannis with KD. Could we still get Drew and Middleton? No, that would just be short. But you could do a build with one of the secondary plays from Milwaukee and the captain, with Giannis and then KD. And then just punt with 2 1K guys. I think it's an interesting argument, right? Because I don't think you couldn't get Portis. Oh, you could get Portis too. And Kobe plays. I think there's worse lineups, right? I think that is at least interesting, right? Because then if you do something like that, like Middleton or Drew, and you go Bobby Portis, and you just go flat 1K guy. Obviously, there's a chance that 2 of your guys get DNPs, but is the 1 extra star better than 3 of so is that better than Jeff Green, Blake Griffin, and Landry Shamet? Is 1 star better than, right? So I think that's actually an interesting argument of just maybe taking 2 zeros. Yeah. Captain KD with Giannis. Yeah, that's going to be one of the most popular lineups today. I mean, I think it's basically optimal. You think Forbes is playable? Yeah, it's a contrarian value play. I never play chalk lineups now. Brook Lopez captain, wouldn't do it. Connaughton captain, Giannis, AD, Harden, Holiday, Portis. I don't love going to the value in the captain. Now, could we do... Let's see. If you do a value in the captain, though, could you get 5? I don't think you could get 5 stars, right? It's just okay, Elijah Bryant in the captain, KD, Giannis, Middleton, Drew. I mean, then you could get a mid-range guy, too. Is that something that is worth it? So you guarantee 4 stars and actually 1 decent value play? There's ways to get different, right? And now I'm thinking to myself, I might do one of these super contrarian lineups of maybe just taking a 0 and getting different from the field, because I don't want to play the chalk. I mean, for me, I don't want to play the chalk and just split with a ton of people. So I think there's a couple different ways you can get to. Yeah. What do you think of Harden tonight? A contrarian option after what I saw last game, but who knows? You could get a decent Harden game tonight. I wouldn't be super shocked. Yeah, again, KD captain with Giannis, Middleton, Tucker, that's going to be probably the most popular lineup tonight. That is, I would say that lineup or Giannis and the captain with the same guys is basically optimal. Yeah. So you can play in cash games. Yeah, let other people make mistakes. Try to grind a little profit. KD is captain with Green, Griffin, Lopez, Middleton, and Tucker. I don't love it. I don't love the more balanced one. Or I guess no. Wait, so you have KD captain with... Never mind. Wait, KD... Yeah, see, yeah, okay. So you do only have KD. You're fading Giannis. I don't think it's worth it. Don't think it's worth it. All right, guys. That's about going to wrap it up for me. Good luck tonight. Enjoy this game. On FanDuel, I got Harden captain. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think I kind of described how you go optimal on this slate. It's pretty obvious in my opinion. But in the large field stuff, it's always fun to try to get different. So do I play the chalk or take the day off? Really no other interest in playing 50% hard. And you probably just take the day off then. Yeah. All right, guys. Good luck. Enjoy the game. I'll be back here tomorrow for a 2-gamer. So I'll see you guys all then.